credible alternative to the people. We do not have any of these. But again, imagine if we had such with the current state of the nation. Imagine the suffering of Nigerians because PDP as opposition does not have direction due to the activities of Damagun. This is very disheartening. Disheartening because this is a man who is not supposed to be in the office in the first place. He was only constitutionally allowed to step in, hold the fort and midwife the process through the North Central Zone, where the chairmanship of the party was originally zoned to present another person who will complete the slot of North Central. Now, not only did Damagun hold tight onto the seat for over a year now, he has abandoned the responsibility of the office of chairman of PDP and is very comfortable serving APC interests. There have been agreement of a broad spectrum of the party leadership when it became clear that Damagun was not interested in conducting election but to appoint caretaker committee in at least 90 states, where the tenure of the state and local government leaders were expiring, to extend the tenure of these officials by 3 months. This decision, which was made to cover every state, was the wisdom that restrained Damagun from announcing a wholesale list of majority of caretaker committee populated by APC agents masquerading as PDP members. However, despite that decision to retain everybody, Mr. Damagun went ahead and received a list of APC agents and announced them as members and leaders of PDP local government caretaker committee, homes only in Rivers and partially in at least 10 states. This is a direct attempt to kill the PDP and ensure it goes into extinction. To make issues clearer, we are speaking on behalf of at least 60 lawmakers in the opposition lawmakers coalition in the National Assembly. We all won our election without any form of help or support from the party. It has become clearer to us that this scenario was fostered so that as many as possible as many of us compare that election. Against their wish, we won the election, and now Damagun and his co-traveler has launched the phase 2 of this protocol, which is to hand the structures of the party to interests working for APC. It is on this basis that we, the genuine PDP lawmakers, who believe in our party and its ideals, hereby announce today that we will not stand idle and allow Damagun destroy the effort of Sir Elias Ekweme, Prince Solomon La, Abubakar Rimi, and other eminent former leaders of this great party. We therefore declare that if the list in Rivers State PDP Caretaker Committee and the other 10 states were to stand, then we, the lawmakers, will reconsider and sever relationship with the party and seek new alliance if the right thing is not done. Some leaders may not boldly speak out, but as you all know, we won our election by scoring against the devil themselves, so we can speak out. Let us send this note of warning to all in PDP and are part of the leadership of the party at whatever level, that this PDP local government leadership will mark the end of the party if Damagun tampers with the original agreed list of caretaker committee members for Rivers State and other 10 states. Gentlemen, what Mr. Damagun is doing to PDP is worse than what Alimo the Sheriff did or intended to do. Presently, in all the states where PDP is not the governor, Damagun has already concluded arrangement to hand the party leadership to APC. In the specific case of Rivers State, the caretaker committee members from Damagun's office are LUGA chairmen produced by former Rivers State House of Assembly members who, as we all know, have lost their seats following their defection to APC. They have formally left the PDP, and Damagun is taking a list from them to announce. Gentlemen, please, try and imagine what could have led to the national chairman of a party discussing issues of party leadership with people who are not members of that party. Imagine how the discussion of how to collect a list from non-party members was conducted, and imagine the terms and conditions of that entire episode. Now I begin to wonder why, despite all political crises in Rivers State, our acting national chairman has maintained absolute silence. He did not intervene. He did not lead his executive to storm Rivers at a time our party-led government came under unconstitutional assault. He stood by and watched until President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from another political party intervened. Gentlemen, it is PDP we are talking about, the largest political party in Africa, a solid institution different from all the other one-man political parties in Nigeria. Gentlemen, the reason a political party exists is to campaign for power, win power, and control power. Therefore, how can some of our former members working with APC government claim that they are in PDP but mobilizing support for another political party? How can Damagun hear this statement while claiming to be our national chairman and he's still in bed with these men and their co-travelers? There could be only one reason, and that is Damagun is the driver of this bus these co-travelers are riding in at the expense of the suffering masses. You cannot be working for those interested in the downfall of PDP and yet claim to love PDP. It is not just possible. Under Damagun, PDP lost the entire Southeast. That Hitoto was a comfort zone of the party. PDP controls only Enugu State, which he literally snatched from the jaw of a lion. We lost Benue, Abia, and Sokoto. The PDP leadership kept moved, while PDP state and federal lawmakers lost their seat at the tribunal and court of appeal on grounds that were obviously untenable, which would have been upturned by the Supreme Court. If the party has spoken up and raised the necessary alarm, all our colleagues in Imo and Plateau State particularly would have been with us in the assembly today. So, gentlemen, it is our call on Damagun to immediately step aside so that the party can midwife a process and hand over to someone from North Central in line with the provisions of our party constitution. It is also our call to the leader way of this plot that those behind it are already celebrating that the expert order is in their pocket, awaiting release to the media, even when the case have not been heard. To our respected Chief Judge, we are compelled to publicly bring this shocking development to your attention for the interest of justice and preservation of the image of our nation's democracy and judiciary. A few days ago, we received credible intelligence that a suit filed on behalf of the Abuja-based former House of Assembly members in Rivers State, whose seats have been declared vacant, over their decampment to APC, even when there was no crisis in PDP, but still parading as lawmakers and changing laws in the middle of the night from the corner of their hotel room in Abuja and Emoha LUGA, where they are gathered and made to make legislative announcements without the legitimacy or due process to do so. Our dear Chief Judge, Honorable Justice J.T. Soho, we wish to inform you that this strange suit, which our intelligence has shown is alleged to have been filed at the Registrar of the Federal High Court, will be assigned to Justice Omotosho, who is expected to issue an injunction legalizing the illegal amendment and extension of tenure of the about-to-expire LUGA chairman in Rivers in order to keep them in office with their tenure extended without an election is a great aberration and risk capable of tarnishing the image of the judiciary if this is allowed to happen. We are lawmakers, and we have great respect and confidence in the Federal High Court to nip this ugly alleged development in the bud, if still active. We are confident that these men of unimaginable desperation, touting the name of respected judges in their beer parlor gossip, are out to ruin the respected name of judges of the Federal High Court, and the court must be careful in handling such obnoxious applications which are targeted to carry out a judicial and legislative coup against democracy by extending tenure of local government chairmen whose tenure are about to expire without allowing constitutional, democratic, and electoral process to take place. The desperation of these Abuja-based former lawmakers and their penchant for any action that is illegitimate propelled us not to take the intelligence lightly, hence the need to draw the attention of our respected judges to this alleged emerging development that must be crushed at all costs for the sake of the image of our judiciary. For those who do not know both in the judiciary and the entire country, let us state it clearly. The crux of the matter is that the former members of the Rivers State House of Assembly whose seats were declared vacant came out from hiding one day and announced illegal amendment to the Rivers State LUGA laws unilaterally without legitimacy and carried out an extension of tenure of the LUGA chairman, which is about to expire, and said they can remain in office as long as required without any tenure again or election process as the basis for holding such office. This is a legislative coup, legislative rascality, and insertion of the process for constitutional democracy. The law was dead on arrival as it was made by men and women unknown to law. It was made by people without the legitimacy to make such law, and hence their claim of overriding the governor's assent was the height of their legislative rascality and political hallucination. Now, sensing that the illegal amendment is unenforceable, these men and their agents decided to drag the judiciary into this madness with their alleged application seeking to issue them ex parte for unenforceable to be enforced, including an order to seize and hijack the LUGA allocation due to Rivers and be sharing it from the comfort of their hotel room in Abuja and Emoha. This will lead to anarchy. This is a grand assault on democracy and rule of law. And if our judiciary is ever dragged into this, our nation would have been taken back to the dark ages. Hence, our call on the National Judicial Council, the Federal High Court, the Nigerian Bar Association, and all relevant authorities to ensure that our courts are not used to carry out the infamous alleged act of using an ex parte order to legalize the illegal tenure extension for local government chairmen in Rivers State whose tenure are about to expire. We are also calling on the federal government to be at alert, especially judiciary, as we have been informed about another prayer in the suit, seeking to order the Accountant General of the Federation and the Federal Ministry of Finance to seize the legitimate local government allocation of Rivers State, deny the Rivers people access to their constitutional fund, including LGA workers and primary school teachers who will not be paid, while the money should be sent to the LGA chairman whose tenure will elapse in the coming days, who in their retirement will be sharing the allocation of the people based on the illegal law that claim to have extended their tenure without any election producing them. Haba. Even in Mobutu Seseko, Congo, or Nkurunziza's Burundi, people could never have imagined this kind of recklessness. We wish to state clearly that the opposition lawmakers will not take lightly any move to extend the tenure of their about to expire LGA chairman under any guise or scheme. You cannot be in office and your tenure is expiring in a few days and somebody makes a law from a one-bedroom in Abuja and Emoha extending you to be in office without an election. That is madness. The opposition is calling on the president, as an Edeko-bred Democrat, to call those pursuing their selfish, greedy ambition, but illegally using his name to carry out constitutional destabilization activities in Rivers to order. They have breached the peace accord and carried on as though they are the only ones that have monopoly for crisis and violence. They have no atom of respect for the president. The allocation of Rivers State cannot be stolen using an ex parte order. Neither can the LGA chairman whose tenure have expired be allowed a second chance in office under any circumstances without going through an electoral process. That the people of Rivers State have maintained peace in the face of all this evil provocation, and that should rather be appreciated and not something that should be taken for granted. Let all men of goodwill stand up and join us in saying enough is enough. The legislative recklessness in Rivers State must end now, and the attempt to drag the Federal High Court into granting ex parte order to seize the Rivers LGA allocation and stamp the illegal extension of tenure of about to expire LGA chairman by a group of people impersonating as lawmakers after their seats have been declared vacant must end now. Thank you and God bless. I will invite my colleagues to make their brief comment.
Thank you very much, gentlemen of the press. What we have presented before you this morning should be very worrisome. Worrisome to the extent that this country is at risk of being mocked, at risk of being isolated in the Committee of Nations. We have a president who has gone everywhere seeking, appealing for investors, appealing for cooperation. There is no investor, honestly so, who would want to invest in a country that does not respect our own laws, left alone the constitution of that country. If our judiciary is so dragged into legalizing illegalities, there is a very huge concern. Mr. President and his advisors, his economic team, should rise up. They should see this as a clarion call to save this country, Nigeria. There is always a time for governance and also a time for politics. This is the time for governance and not politics. On the streets of Rivers State, the Rivers people are united behind the governor that they elected. The Rivers people are united in rejecting the illegal members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, former. Therefore, it should not be heard, neither should it be seen, that there are persons using authorities of governance to perpetuate illegality in Rivers State. we should also be aware that the peace of this country revolves around the peace of every entity therefrom. If, for whatever gains, for whatever reason, people are encouraged to mess with the peace of Rivers State, I do not know how that will affect the other components. As members of the People's Democratic Party, there are precedents, and that is what we have stated. Damagun should not continue. He should cede that position to the area that it rightly belongs to. The rains have come too early, but rather than raise our hands and complain, we will use the rains to water our fields, and the yield would be very bounteous. The ruling party should, as a matter of necessity, allow dissenting voices so that they can guard them, so that they can encourage them to do better than what they are doing today. We all are aware of the hardship. It knows no color, it knows no party. They should not continue to encourage this brigandage, this rascality. It is our opinion that Mr. President will do the needful. It is our opinion that the judiciary should also stand up to protect its integrity. The National Judicial Council should be alive to its responsibility to discipline whoever wants to bring disrespect to that revered arm of government.
Good afternoon, gentlemen of the press. As my colleagues have rightly said, we are calling on the governors of the People's Democratic Party because all of us, the lawmakers elected on the platform of PDP, are saying the same thing. Damagun should please exit and allow the North Central to take back their rightful position, because it is not going to be extended by the time it expires in the next 2 years. Secondly, you cannot change the rule of the game in the center of the game or when the game is about to be over. The chairmen whose tenure are about to expire in Rivers were elected by the people of Rivers State. They were not elected by the courts. And they were elected on terms, and they were sworn in with a definite timeline, which is 3 years, I'm sure. So please, we are begging the judiciary not to cause chaos in Rivers. The right thing should be done. Thank you, gentlemen of the press.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Just to add to some of what my colleagues have already said, there is no country that practices democracy that can work without a formidable, effective, and efficient opposition. And that is why, as opposition lawmakers, coalitions, we are here to revive and ensure that the opposition wake up and stand for its role, to play as an opposition. We cannot continue the way the opposition have been. And you will agree with me today that a lot of reformation is taking place by the ruling party. For some of us that are here, that are very progressive in nature, have agreed to some of this reformation, but the timing of this reformation, I think it is not coming to Nigeria with the ease that is expected. For example, the removal of the fuel subsidy have put a lot of hardship of Nigerians. Go to all the nooks and crannies, you see our people biting their fingers, even for what to eat. And today we wake up, there's also removal of subsidy on the electric tariff. Democracy is for the people. We cannot continue without consultation and the right timing of reformations. PDP, as an opposition party, we are calling as an opposition lawmakers. That is our role to come up and provide solution. We are not here to lament or to murmur. We are here to provide an alternative. We are here to say that the opposition have to wake up, stand to its role, and play its role as an opposition, and make Nigerians benefit from the dividends of democracy. Thank you.
Any question?
Yes, we have questions.
Sorry, we have to take it one after the other. Please, you have to be brief and go straight to the point. Lizzie, can we have your question?
Okay, good afternoon, sirs. Good afternoon, colleagues. My name is Lizzie Chipi. I write for other paper. So, first of all, please look up to my microphone. First of all, I would like to know the lawmakers. Okay, lawmakers standing before us, because from the invitation we got, we were told that the opposition, coalition of the opposition, and we don't know if all the members standing here are, because we've heard you talk about PDP mostly, is it only PDP lawmakers that are here or the opposition, the coalition that are here? That's my first question. The second question will be that coalition. The second question will be that are we now seeing a house divided against itself? Because if we are talking about PDP or opposition, first of all, we were expecting to see the minority leader here in person of Honorable Kingsley Chinda, and Rev. Kingsley Chinda is nowhere to be found in this the lawmakers standing here before us. So is it a house divided against itself? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. First of all, I don't think anybody made comments about asking the president to intervene in the internal issues that has to do with the PDP. The issue that was raised here was about those who are trying to undermine the judiciary and create a situation that will lead to constitutional crisis. That was where we now said the president, both the president, the NJC, and other key stakeholders should get involved. And then coming to the first question, there is no division here. Maybe you did not listen carefully. This was a gathering of opposition lawmakers coalition, which is a group that stretches across different political parties. But the people speaking here today are the PDP aspect of it. And because there's an internal issue that happened in our party. And then talking about internal options, all internal options have been exhausted. These conversations have been ongoing for a very long time. Some of you have been following it. I have been listening to the rhetorics that have been happening across all parts of the country, where people have taken up arms against their own party and saying they will destroy the party. We have appealed to the party leadership over time internally to allow the due process to follow. And what is this due process? The constitution of our party made it expressly clear that whenever there is a vacancy, the zone from which the officer originated from will present a replacement to act pending the conduct of a substantive convention. And it's getting to almost 1 year, and then the deputy chairman has been in office, and not only that, things has gone from bad to worse. And while we're talking about Rivers also, is a place where also our party have come under the biggest internal attack, and we have been able to identify that there's internal collaboration with the outsiders who are after our party. And there's also a constitutional violation of people leaving the party upon which they were elected when there was no internal division, and at the same time, even when there's orders of court, are now going about making laws in one bedroom, and this can lead to breakdown of law and order. More importantly, amending the local government law and saying that somebody that is elected whose tenure have expired can stay in office. You worry every Nigerian. It means that somebody can even propose such a law at the national level. So it's a constitutional issue that we must also address, and which is also very important. And also, If he refuses to resign, like we said, we have been discussing and consulting. See, the whole of yesterday night we are having meetings with our members. Legal option is also part of it. These issues have been decided in the past. It's not the first time these issues are coming up. That if he refuses to take that path of honor, and if the NEC refuses at the NEC meeting to take that decisive action, then definitely what will happen is that we'll take the legal option to ensure that we'll get him out of office so that the people of North Central can take back their job and complete the remaining tenure. And also it's very important to understand that we have also tried among ourselves to build stronger unity, and that is also working out. People may have some allegiances which may make them not to be effective in defending the party they belong to. But some of us here, and the over 60 of us, we are committed in doing that. Before we came on board, put ourselves together and started coming out. Most of the issues that have happened in the past, we've also talked about them. Even when the issue of the burning of the House of Assembly also happened, we also talked about it. And just like he said, he spoke just briefly now about the issue of the electricity tariff. And yesterday, that what we decided was that we understand that yes, at the rates the companies are operating, they are not making profit. But we must also consider the fact that there have not been much improvement in the finance of Nigerian people. That most of these things can be implemented in phases. That was our decision yesterday, because we're going to brief on that on a later date also. So we're standing 100% with Nigerian people, and in the days ahead, we'll continue to push that frontiers of effective opposition and engagement of our people. And he talked about people visiting people across the country. Yes, there have been conversations across all parts of the country, which involves most of the opposition lawmakers. There's conversations of rejigging the party. There's conversations of building a broader coalition. There's conversation of mergers. There's different conversations going on, but we cannot speak on that because we have not gotten to a tangible position where we can talk about those movements across different parts of the country. Thank you. So, sir, well, while we're working in here, we got to hear about the impeachment that happened in Edo State. So after here, we're going to meet and have a position as a body because we just saw it on TV while we're working here. So we'll not be able to comment on it now. So, thank you. All right. All right.